time.
Welcome to the Still Drippin' Happy Hour. This is your host, Mason, speaking. Tonight, we're missing Dan the Man. Got a little sickness in the air. We're battling adversity again. But we got Hayes Holla.
Let's get this money.
And we got LP.
I got a pocket full of sunshine. Oh.
Wow, that was a new one.
That was so dumb.
Really translates to our audience right there. Before we get into the happy hour, I want you to go online, subscribe, and rate 5 stars.
Unsubscribe, resubscribe, check out the algorithm, follow the leads, hit the algorithm.
Follow the leader.
Give us 5 stars. Give us a review. I think we're still sitting on 1 review. Shout out Seth Rolling.
Oh, I thought it was me.
Oh, you have
me.
I'm talking about iTunes.
I know. I give us a dope A review. It's fire. Anybody that read that review be like, I'm going to listen to this crap.
Self-reviewing. Okay.
All right. Well, I was gone last week, and
Yeah.
I've listened back, and I haven't got all the way through the pod, but I wish Dan was here, and it doesn't matter because I haven't got a clear picture of Landon's hate for Drake, but I would like to chime in if you'd let me on the Nocta situation. Can I real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't disagree with anything. I think is the most lazy. I think he's kind of taken the Kanye route of simplicity, right? I think that's his goal is almost like piggyback. No, you don't think so?
No.
But listen, I don't like it. Let me clarify. I'm not defending because I feel like he's taken he's taken the simplistic, like stripped down, but then made it like Kmart. I mean, I feel like this is a Rawlings brand. You walk into, and I mean, the negative part of Rawlings, like when they didn't care about anybody and they were worthless. Rawlings has had some decent collabs recently, but typically when you think of Rawlings, you think of some old overweight dude that went to Walmart and gets like a 5X Rawlings sweater. Am I wrong?
Are you talking about Rawlings, the baseball brand?
Yeah, but they also do like sweatpants and sweats.
You mean like And One or Champion?
No, I'm talking about Rawlings.
Are you sure you're not talking about Russell?
He's talking about Russell.
I'm talking about Russell. I'm an
Russell.
Really
Listen to me, just ranted. Man. I just ranted on Rawlings, thinking it. What I meant
are
was
that old guy.
You shut up. What I meant is the old fat dude that's wearing a Russell Athletic, not Kith.
Hey, that's Russell. Well, hold up. Now Kith did a collab with Russell.
No, that's what I'm saying. I said not Kith collab.
Okay.
Just the Walmart version of Russell is what it seems like that is. It's just lazy. It is so lazy and bland and stupid. And I am not a fan of the Nocta thing at all. And if you are, then you're just dumb. And you should just go buy a Russell sweatsuit from Kmart. Rest in peace. Kmart doesn't even exist, but I bet you they'd collab with Drake.
Hey, speaking of Kmart, they do have a new branding opportunity. Kenyon Martin Jr. is playing for the Houston Rockets now.
Yeah.
There's your new branding opportunity. Around. Yeah, protege.
So all of that to be said, I get it. I don't like Nocta. I think it's trash. You get it. But where is this coming from, this just ire of Drake? I just would really like a little bit of background.
So what makes me most angry is his OVO stuff was dope. Like his own brand, OVO. I don't understand why he didn't just collab, do an OVO Nike. I don't know why he had to go off and do this whole spin-off, this Nocta thing, like the owl, I thought that was dope. There's some pretty cool pieces from that. He's completely just divorced from that, and I don't know. He'll be collabing with OnCloud at some point probably, but don't get me started on that.
But this seems like it's deeper than just, don't like that he switched to OVO. This seems, I think we need to do an Instagram poll of who hates who more. Does Mason hate Urban Meyer more, or do you hate Drake? Because it seems like it's not just about well, I don't really like that he went with Nocta versus O. There's something in there I'm sensing. Just let your heart out. Just let your heart out.
I mean, I spent a whole episode last episode. I mean, I have nothing left in my heart for Drake at this point.
But why?
Do you think he's not good at his occupation?
Do you think he's
played out? He's
think
so
he's
played
overrated?
out.
So did you like him at one point?
Oh yeah, I love Drake. Drake's great. Like Tootsie Slide, one of the greatest things that came out of the pandemic. But just like as of recent, he's just I don't know.
I don't think that's.
I feel like he's in he's in bed with Nike in some kind of way, and I'm jealous. Maybe.
I just don't think you're telling us the whole story. It's almost like you had a personal run-in with him, and he didn't sign your T-shirt. Because trust me, there's people that I mean, I could tell you about my deep hatred of a lot of different things, lots of things, but there's something in there. We're going to have to keep digging. I don't think you're ready to release the true feelings. That's okay.
All right. Is that all you wanted to address from last episode, Hayes?
So it sounds to me like it's not even going to be close. Mason's hate is documented, is deep, educated, and
are you calling me uneducated? What the heck?
I mean, a little bit you just don't have any basis for what you're saying.
What?
You don't.
No
you haven't said anything.
You need to go back and listen to the previous episode. You literally
I told
just
you I did
laid
get
out
all of it. Mason, do you disagree with me? Do you feel like we don't really know the true foundation of this?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I understand the Nocta hate. It's the throwing the jabs of being a terrible rapper that I don't understand.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
So
and
it's those
like,
little,
okay.
And honestly,
jabs.
wait, hold up. And honestly, I'm not quite sure you haven't just gone straight up Pusha T and said he's a horrible father. I mean, I don't know why wouldn't you just go take it a step further?
Wait, Drake has kids?
Boom.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't really know this guy.
See, it's not educated. It's unfounded, undocumented hate.
Name the last hit song that Drake's put out. Not Billboard, but just good song.
God's Plan.
Yeah, I'm with that. The whole album.
That album was good.
I was in high school when that came out.
You were not. That was like three years ago. I think what it is that it's. I'm gonna make a really controversial statement here. Okay, I think there was one point where I felt about Kobe what you feel about Drake, and that it's so mainstream, it's so in your face, he's so popular that you're like, this guy can't be that perfect, and then you're going to sweep under the rug struggles or things that he has fallen short on. And I think that might be what I mean, rest in peace. And I love Kobe now, but there was definitely a time where I was like, God, man, I felt Kobe in a lot of is a parallel of Drake in this world. You agree with that?
Yeah,
Hot
to
take.
the point that, yeah, but Drake's still alive, unfortunately.
My God.
Wow. See, there's something deep.
Yeah. It's deep. We're gonna have to peel the layers of the onion back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We need to get off this.
One episode at a time.
He's just vaulting it.
Yeah.
He's just afraid. I think he's afraid of pushback. He's afraid Still Dripping Happy Hour is going to get canceled.
Yeah. Maybe.
Can't hate Drake.
Well, my opening question, a little get to know you question for the squad, was you're starting a music festival. What's your 3 headlining acts? I know Landon's going to choose Drake. But no, what's your 3 headliners? It can be your musical taste only, or you can appeal to the masses.
All right. I think I can. You're going to hate the vibe of. I'm going to get crucified here.
Who, I'm going to hate it?
Landon's going to make fun of me.
Qualifier, do they have to be alive?
Yeah, they
yeah?
gotta be alive.
They got to be alive. So we're planning it for real.
Yeah.
For like this summer. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to have Lizzo open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I knew you were going to hate it.
Yeah.
And then I'm probably gonna go Alabama Shakes is the second act, and then Bruno Mars.
Oh my god.
I think that sounds so dope.
That's good. That's good.
But that's the vibe. It's like a retro sound, but
Can we overlap
banging popular
or no?
Yeah, you can overlap.
Okay.
You didn't give any rules.
I was just making sure we weren't trying to all not overlap, but Bruno Mars was on my list because I just feel like
yes,
he is the ultimate entertainer. It's like when I was in high school, that would have been Chris Brown because I would just love to see one of his shows. But for right now, I think it's Bruno Mars. And then my other two, I'm just going for we're selling out millions of tickets. I'm going Kanye and Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
So
I can't argue with that lineup.
I'm really only appealing to one market, maybe
like
two markets. But yeah, I'm not going for anything else. No country fans are coming to this concert, this music festival.
Well, they can come to mine because here
we go.
You got the Thomas Rhett, Kelsey Ballerini, and who else went to Lipscomb?
Garrison Matthews is going to come out with the saxophone. Turns out he plays the sax in DC at halftime shows. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Come on.
I'm good.
You're not going to give us your lineup?
Bruno Mars and Drake and
oh my
Thomas
gosh.
Rhett.
This is not real. What is you're full of you were just a vault tonight.
Yeah. He's got those.
Okay, real talk. Here it is. Kid Laroi, Justin Bieber, Garth Brooks.
Who was the first one?
Kid Laroi. Oh, gotta
Never
check
heard
him
of
out.
him.
Yeah, who's that?
He is catapulting to fandom right now. Justin Bieber is taking him under his wings. Juice WRLD was his mentor before he passed. He's from Australia.
Does he have a bunch of tattoos on his face? Is that dude?
No.
I'm thinking somebody else.
That's Post Malone.
No,
it's Alan Stone. Who I'm thinking of is Alan Stone.
But Post Malone.
Teddy Swims. I'm sorry, it's Teddy Swims.
Kid Laroi's style is like Post Malone and Justin Bieber combined. And he just performed on SNL 2 weeks ago with Miley Cyrus. Like Miley Cyrus was the main headline, but she let him have the stage. So he's got a bunch of big artists that are propping him up and supporting him. Kid's only 17. He can rap, he can sing, he can do everything that Drake can't. So he's great.
So is he kind of like the Icy Rabbit of the music world?
Oh,
good comparison.
Remember that when they were like, yes, that is a good comparison.
I hated that brand, so I probably hate this guy if that's true.
No, don't do that to it.
What's Icy Rabbit? Landon, you might remember more of that. Is that still a thing even?
No, I don't think it ever was. It was supposed to be the next big Supreme. Justin Bieber wore it. It was this whole social media experiment to see if you could hype something like a brand just by it. Basically, it was like a grassroots hype brand, and somehow they had a connection with Justin Bieber. So he wore one of their shirts. They did a big limited drop, but like the graphics looked like
it's so trash,
garbage.
Yeah. But for a minute, I was like, oh yeah, I'm on this team early. This is going to be so dope.
But it purely was what we're talking about. It was propped up by celebrity. Hey, let's get Justin Bieber to wear this shirt and see if people buy it. And it's just trash. Hey, they still have a Instagram. Icy Rabbit Clothing. I mean, it's just garbage. Oh, they're doing mats. Congratulations. You can now get an Icy Rabbit rug for $215.
Oh, find those at TJ Maxx in a few months.
How would you describe the Icy Rabbit logo, like to somebody that had never seen it?
Made in Windows Paint.
Ooh,
It's like a crack version of Bugs Bunny.
It really does look like a fifth grader drew it, and then pasted it into Microsoft Paint, and then color blocked it. And he looks like he's stoned, I guess, totally spaced out.
Yeah, a little bit.
He looks very distant, and
I will say the creator was Max Miller, and he got his start by like, he's not an official Supreme model, but he was one of the first guys out of the gate to have like one of the like craziest Supreme collections ever. Now it's like everybody that posts on YouTube, it's like the greatest Supreme collection ever. But Max Miller was the first one to really get ahead of the game. So that's his brand. So that's his connection, like with Justin Bieber. He's a pretty well known guy.
Man, sorry about
Good
that
background.
sidebar about Icy Rabbit. Good grief.
Thought this week we could jump into, I know Hayes, you plugged it a couple weeks ago, or you and Landon are doing some sports cards, so figured we could jump into that a little bit and talk about some of the cool stuff going on between the sneaker game combined with trading cards a little bit and what that looks like. But I know we've talked about it a little bit, Landon, but the Project 70 from Topps. So Topps is doing this thing for their 70th anniversary. And so they've got 51 different artists, and artists include Sean Wotherspoon, who we've talked about a lot, Snoop Dogg. Who else, Landon? What are some of the other artists? Ben Baller.
So an artist, Ben Baller, Undefeated, so that they've collabed with brands as well. Chinatown Market, I think that Topps is doing an excellent job of capturing the hype in sports cards and selling to a different market. Like they're attracting people who probably in their childhood, collected cards, but they're not huge enthusiasts now, but they appreciate the people that they're collabing with. And that's how I found out about it, was through Sean Wotherspoon posted, and he like each of the artists helped create it. So it like Sean's looks like him, and like it looks like the Air Max 97.
His look like trash, to be honest.
Okay. Wow.
If you look at all of them that have come out so far, I like Sean. I just don't like the design that he has. Like the Nolan Ryan one.
I was just saying the Nolan Ryan. Oh,
it's got
I was bought the Nolan Ryan one.
That's not a baseball card. But
that's when he played for LA, and so it's like got an LA vibe to it.
Who did the Tatis one? I really like.
Oh yeah,
he was part of the whatever my Castle Kicks. Remember that? He was part of my.
I think that's the
squad.
The number 2 top seller so far.
Yeah, that was
that
dope.
Tatis one.
Have y'all seen the Randy Johnson exploding bird one?
No, I haven't.
I just saw it.
That's amazing. Great. It looks like what is it?
That
Bird
is
Hunter,
so sick.
Duck Hunter from Nintendo.
Duck Hunt.
Yeah, Duck Hunt.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's super dope. You want me? Hey, I'll say this too. How this relates to any of this, you guys, is how we started doing this is reselling to make money, and right now. Strike while the iron's hot, because cards are hot and you can make a pretty penny by doing some of this stuff. And it sounds crazy, especially some of the stories Landon has about Pokemon, which honestly I don't have any interest in it, but it's crazy right now. So go dig in your closets and find your old sports cards, and if you have questions about because here's the deal, in my experience so far, is that you got to get these cards graded for them to be really worth something. And so there's all sorts of these services that will grade your cards out of 10, and the better condition the card is and positions and centering and all that kind of crap. But you guys should go dig all your sports cards out of your closet. I know a ton of you people have them, and you're sitting on some gold, I bet, on accident. So that's how this relates back. This relates back to just making a little bit extra money that you've had sitting in your closet for 20 years.
Major news flash. I mean, this is old news, but for our listeners, they probably have not heard. Target has pulled Pokemon from their shelves. They no longer release Pokemon cards in store. I don't know if they have a plan to do it online, but it got so crazy that they switched to Fridays only. Like, so Fridays at 8:00, the line started, and any sneakerhead knows you don't just start a line. You don't tell the people when the line starts. And so that just created organized chaos. And so now they've just kind of thrown their hands up and given up. But that's how crazy it is out there right now.
What have you gotten that was landed? So what you got, where you got it, how much you paid for it, what have you sold? Like, tell people that, because I think a lot of people think you're messing around. Like, how many people have Pokemon I have literally behind this computer, my kids have stacks of Pokemon cards right here. And then I don't have first of all, I don't have any interest in Pokemon. Second of all, I don't have a first clue about what any of them may or may not be worth. Okay. So what does that mean, Landon? Educate us.
Well, at the end of the day, it's cardboard, but they are selling cardboard with scarcity and with nostalgia. So if you think about, we've been in COVID, we've been in our houses for a year. What better than start cleaning out your closet? And we're in a generation now that, like, I'm a prime example. I grew up with Pokemon, and now I'm at the age where I've got kids that can be into it. So they just is a perfect storm. And so there's a shortage. They're saying it's because of COVID, but I honestly think it's organized scarcity. I think they're doing it on purpose to create the chaos and, to get the headlines. But then you've got two cultures that are clashing right now. You've seen it in the PS5 and the Xbox One, where you can't find any because people are buying them up to resell them. But then you've got this other side of it, of people that are just video gamers that just want to play video games, and they're so mad at the resellers. Same thing with Pokemon. You've got people that are in it for collecting, that actually play the game, and they're coming from years of being able to just walk into any Walmart and pick up a pack. And now it's just like a tornado has gone through the shelves, and you never know when they're going to restock. When they do, products on the shelf for maybe 5 minutes. I mean, I'll never forget. I was checking out, and I for some reason I was like in and out, and I didn't even look to see at Walmart if they had them. But I looked over, and it was like the self-checkout aisle, and I made eye contact with this guy that was buying something called an ETB, Elite Trainer box. And my eyes lit up. I dropped everything. Like, I just stopped. Everything that I had, my groceries, I just dropped and went to the section and got a cart and just bought them out. So I am the problem. And that's
But it's the same as sneakers, right? It's the resellers, me and you could argue, screwed it up for me and you, who are the purists, who I just want a pair of Travis Scott low ones because I like them. I'm not necessarily trying to sell them for $600. It's the same concept.
It is, but the culture of reselling is acceptable now, right? Whereas, because you got people that are just it's a given now in sneaker culture. Whereas you've got these people, like, I was trying to sell some Pokemon cards on Facebook, and this guy was ripping me a new one because he's just like just the stereotypical kid that lives in his parents' basement and collects figurines of God knows what.
Maybe we have some of those people listening to the podcast. What would you like to say to those people?
Good riddance to you. Enjoy listening to Drake. And I'm just like, dude, like, either buy my stuff or shut up and go buy it somewhere else. But he was like getting on to me about like marking up the price. And I was like, well, best of luck trying to find it for retail.
So if you were advising,
you think if I'm popping off about Drake, I'd pop off real quick about the people that are mad about the shortage of Pokemon.
The people that want to tell you what to do with your own stuff.
Yeah, they think they think it is. I'm just the crux
I hate
of the world,
the government.
right?
If you've listened to this for any episode, screw.
Back to nostalgia, though. I mean, isn't that what drives almost everything that we talk about on here?
Everything.
I mean, it's just that nostalgia factor. I mean, aside from, I know Landon likes to say this is a positive term now, but I still will disagree with him. The hype beast, it's people our age see this stuff and we're taken back to a memory, right? Like Pokemon cards, like seeing, I don't know, for me, it's a Kobe jersey or a Kobe shoe. And that brings nostalgia back to me. That's what is driving a lot of this. But then you have people who, like Landon says, are using their mom and dad's credit card to go buy this stuff and stunt on their friends, right? So it's just driving up the price rather than me finding it at Goodwill for $5 or less like we used to do.
Landon, if you were going to say, okay, if I'm brand new to this and I'm looking for Pokemon, okay, you said the trainer box, and then there's all this stuff that my kids have tried to educate me on, and you've actually tried to educate me on that. I just don't care. The thing about me and Pokemon is I'm not a hater. I'm not interested in it. And so I don't have a natural pull like I do towards sports cards. So if I'm looking for a Pokemon, and or because you kind of got into sports cards too, right?
Give or take, yeah.
And then I guess I can talk a little bit about what I would look for if I'm talking about sports cards. But what are you looking for?
Well, the advice I would give is the best advice that someone gave me was don't get in it for the money, especially for Pokemon card. It's because it's a gamble. Because you can buy one of these boxes and it like retails for $50. You might be able to resell it for $70 to $80, but if you open it up, it's either worth nothing or it's worth a heck of a lot of money if it's got a really rare card in it, like a Charizard. That's the big
Charizard.
it's called a chase card. So it's a pure gamble, and so you can either make a couple bucks and keep it sealed and sell it, or you can also sit on it. That's what I've been doing. They come out with these sets every like season, and so it's kind of like a Jordan 1. When a Jordan 1 drops, you sit on it for a year and it's going to appreciate. It's the same kind of deal. The only caveat is with Pokemon, they can print on demand, and so they can actually reprint and re-release old sets, and it drives down the resale cost. That's something that you don't see really primarily with shoes. Like when a Jordan retros, it almost pushes up the previous retro shoes price up, whereas in Pokemon cards, it does the opposite.
I think Landon said this. He said, if you're going to do this, do it for the love, not for the money. Did you say that? Was that a quote, a direct quote?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the advice I'm giving to my kids right now, because my kids have got really into it, because how this usually some things go is that my kids kind of gravitate towards things that I like and all that kind of stuff. So they've really gotten into cards, but I have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of cards. 2 weekends ago, I bet I threw away $6,000 or $7,000 of cards. Not dollars, 6,000 or 7,000 cards, just crap, like junk. I mean, in a trash bag and put it in my trash. I mean, thousands of cards. I went through all of them. So, I mean, it's not like I was giving away Kobe rookies, but I think that is good advice. Like, do it because you like it first. But if you've got a stash of cards, there's no doubt about it, do it for the money. Like right now, here's my advice if you got sports cards, and it would be go find what I would call modern rookies. So people that you loved growing up, Kobe, Kevin Garnett. I'm just thinking purely basketball at the moment. So Paul Pierce, people that have retired recently. Allen Iverson just retired, or he was a couple of years ago. Tim Duncan was inducted this past week. Like, that's who you want to go. Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Nowitzki, people that have just retired. That's who you want to gravitate towards first. It's deceptive, but you'd think, people that were really popular in their time, the Jason Kidds, the Shaquille O'Neals, like that era, I'd stay away from those. Go more towards the modern and or the dudes that are just superstars. Kevin Durant, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, maybe Dwayne Wade,
Vince Carter,
Luka Doncic, Trae Young, like people that are doing really, really well. Rookies are really, really hot. Yeah, Ja Morant. So rookies, go towards those. Baseball, it's the same thing. So like modern rookies,
you got to go for Mike Trout,
Acuna, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper. Who else am I missing? I mean,
Mookie.
And then same with football, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Like, that's what you want to go after is rookies. And you'll want to get them graded, because when you get them graded, it's going to cost you a little bit of money to get them graded, but if you get the right card in the right condition, I mean, it's going to pay for itself times over.
And if you send them to PSA to get graded, best of luck to you. Just go ahead. You'll get them by the time you retire. Ridiculous.
So PSA is like it's like if
the Drake of grading.
No, it's like the Jay-Z. It would be it's the Nike. It's the Nike of grading is PSA. But free shout out, go follow and go to Nash Cards if you're in the Nashville, Middle Tennessee area. These guys are awesome. They're great guys. But they put me on to another company that's like an Adidas level, maybe, called SGC, whose turnaround is a lot quicker. Like you get your cards back in 3 or 4 weeks. And Landon, how long have you waited for PSA?
I sent my Charizards in November of 2020. I paid for the bottom of the barrel, cheapest processing fee, and I've yet to receive them back.
Okay, so in the last 2 months, I've sent 30 cards to get graded from SGC, and I have all 30 of them back and trying to sell them. So look, but SGC it's not Nike, right? And so sometimes it's a little bit harder relatively to sell that version of a graded card versus a PSA. That's the difference. So Landon is probably the other thing is it costs a lot more to get graded by PSA because don't they charge you a percentage of what the card's worth? Is that the deal there?
I hope not. I don't know.
Go check me, man. I think that's how that works because if it's valued at a certain amount, they charge you different, and like they'll get a percentage of what it is. I could be wrong, but the other reason why I went with this other company, it's $27 to get any card graded, no matter what it is. So I've got Kobe rookies and I've got Iverson rookies and Peyton Manning rookies and all these crazy cards that I've gotten graded at $27 a pop versus paying a percentage. It's a whole lot more expensive to get them graded with PSA, which cuts into your profit, which that's why I went, might sound cheap, but then I appreciate the Nash Cards guys. They put me on. I'm trying to get back into this. So free shout out. I'm sorry. We got way into the weeds on that.
No worries. That was a good banter back and forth there. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about sports cards a little bit, and I think Hayes mentioned game worn sneakers on a card would be really cool. Yep. And so I did a little search, and it's the major players have done it similar to the jersey pieces on a card, just a really tiny. But there is, I think it's Panini America.
They're like the big boss in this world now. I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah, they've done some where they're thicker cards. So I want to say they're probably a quarter of an inch, maybe a little less thick cards, but it's got a pretty good size. Like the whole card is a sneaker or a piece of the sneaker. I think they had Penny, maybe Jason Kidd, some of those. So it was pretty cool. I would look those up. It's just sneaker sports cards is what I Googled. So, but Panini America had some pretty cool ones out there.
If you want to go down a really interesting rabbit hole, go to YouTube and search how those cards are made. It's crazy. I mean, they make cards out of hockey sticks and all kinds of stuff that they make cards out of now that somehow they shave them down. It's pretty crazy watching that done.
Now, the only other thing that I had, it was similar to the Project 70. But did you all see what Trevor Lawrence and his brother did? So right before the draft, his brother is an artist. So they approached a sports card company. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was one you've heard of. And really they went back and forth, and his brother Chase and Trevor went back and forth on different designs and ended up with some really cool designs of sports cards. They look like, I would say, 60s to 70s like albums of Beatles or other bands like that, really popular album covers. And it kind of has that vibe of the 70s, 60s feel. So go look up that. That was a really cool thing. It was kind of a moment of athlete empowerment in the sports card world because they made them themselves. They designed them. Everything was in their control. So just another piece of athletes kind of taking their story, I guess, their brand into their own hands.
It's like that would be like the Chance the Rapper of the card game. He's like, forget it, man. I can get more money, and right, he can own it. He can do that's, man. All these analogies, crushing the analogy game.
It's kind of like the housing market, right?
I'm calling my realtor brother-in-law right this freaking second, and we're going to talk to him.
I dare you. You won't do it. You won't do it.
That's it. I'm so sick of you saying this crap. You know what? Next time I'm going to text him first, and then I'm going to call him.
Mason's just going to cut it anyways, so it's fine.
Free shout out. My brother-in-law's a realtor, and he's going to put you in your freaking place once and for all. Poser. You sneaky little snake. You're just like this, sitting over there, but being all quiet this whole time, contemplating how to kill Drake. Apparently,
I sold a house and I closed on Friday. Sold it within 24 hours. So the housing market is crazy. It's bananas.
Whoa!
Are you a realtor?
Sold a house?
Yeah, man. I'm in the real estate game now.
What?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Explain.
No, I inherited it. It was my grandfather's.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, I'm also a farmer now. Fun fact. I inherited an 88-acre farm in Kentucky, and it's a sharecropping thing. And so there's farmers up there. I'm like the third generation. Like the farmer that's currently farming it, his great grandfather started the partnership with my family. So like our family owns the land. And so I called him today. I'm a far cry from a sneaker deal right now, but yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. What do they grow? Like soybeans?
Yeah. So that soybean market's popping off right now.
Knowing your family is probably weed and soybeans and poppy seeds.
What does that mean?
It's like poppy seeds. He's just fueling the fentanyl demand on the black market. Oh, what am I talking about right now?
We're way off track. Mason, get us back on the track.
But that was cool. That's a great story.
So yeah, I'll say all that. I totally just like blew my cover. Like, I totally agree with everything you said.
I was right. Full circle. Now take it all back. Give me an apology. Worthy of Still Dripping Happy Hour. Landon?
Never.
You've slandered me for weeks on here. How many episodes have we done this? That's called defamation. You got a lawsuit coming your way, buddy. And then, turns out he was right. He knew what he was talking about.
Did y'all get a chance to see Landry's question?
Yes.
Also, update on Landry. I think I'm taking him to Soho this weekend, and he's going to make his first sneaker purchase.
Ooh.
So super
What's
excited.
his budget? Do you know anything about his budget?
Around 150. I think I can push him to 200 if I need to.
I think
he honestly has not bought a pair of shoes in like 5 years. So,
you know what I'd be willing to do?
Oh no, are you serious? Come with us.
I'm going to be in Florida.
Oh yeah.
But I'd be willing to pitch in like $20 towards his first purchase.
All right. If we find the right pair of shoes and it's like $20
Content.
over his
Tell
budget,
him Hayes has got you.
I'll phone a friend.
Phone a friend. I'm in. No crap.
Okay.
Look what we do. Look what somebody give the list. We give spiritual guidance, parenting advice, marriage development advice, budgetary ideas and advice.
Budgetary.
We also are a 401(c) charity because we give to people that are trying to get a new pair.
What is a 401(c)?
I don't know. Shut up. I don't know.
Life advice, though. Something that I have pondered on and come across over the past year is, man, giving is so much greater than receiving. And
man, brother.
Yeah, I got over the past year, I'll be honest, I've gotten caught up in the whole like trying to collect all the sneakers and like doing spreadsheets with all the values of my shoes, trying to push $1, try to make $1. And I finally up and gave a pair of shoes like away in this thing for these kids in need. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying like that the money that I spent, which was a fraction of what I've spent on my shoe collection, that was so much more fun and enjoyable and satisfying to spend that amount of money on those kids than any pair of shoes that sits in my closet.
Preach.
Yeah, I like that.
Take it to church. I feel like we should offer prayer and maybe a collection.
From a mentor of all of us, I heard Ty Osmond once say, I've never met a formerly generous person. So,
that's one of my favorite quotes from any human being ever.
Yeah.
He also gave me the best parenting advice ever. Or maybe this is just be advice about being a man. And that would be, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Some great advice.
That is good advice. All right. With that, I think we're going to move into some of our questions from our Droplet Army. Again,
Where are we at with naming them? Landon?
I've dropped the ball. I've completely
God
just
bless.
I've dropped the ball completely on our social media, our videos. It's been crazy. I've been selling houses, flipping real estate. So
Once you get back into the swing of things, man, let's do
let me
it.
grow some more soybeans, and then I'll be back in it.
Well, this first one comes from our mentee, Landry. It's kind of a two-part question. We're talking baseball here. What song would you choose for your walk-up music as you go into the batter's box?
I mean, you can go so many different ways. Like, I kind of want to make it something that's obscure, but then I also want to get people like fired up, right? So if you go too obscure, like off the top of my head, I'm going to go a really throwback that you guys probably never heard, and that's a song. It's a rap song by a rapper called MC Breed, and it's with Tupac, and it says, "I got to get mine, you got to get yours. I got to get mine, you got to get yours." That's a deep cut though. Nobody would understand it.
Yeah. But
Is that good? That's a good answer.
Wording, I think that was pretty good.
All right, well, I'll stick with that.
Okay.
Landon, go listen to that song. Just make sure it's a radio version.
Landon, you got some Agent Paco?
Well, so I'm a sports DJ. Okay. Well, anyway,
I've just been ripping Landon tonight.
Yeah, it's fine. I had it coming. So I play music at sporting events, and I got my start playing music at baseball games, college baseball games. And you could learn a lot about a guy from his walk-up song. And I'm going to have to go with an oldie but a goodie, Put On by Jeezy. I played that this season. I brought that out of the archive for our men's basketball team, and that was their walkout music for the starting lineups. And I only played the instrumental for that, and that went hard. That was the song in high school that, like, when I got new speakers in my car, that was the first song that I would play.
It's a dope choice.
It's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah, I think for a walk-up song, you got to have something that pumps you up, but I think you need a little intimidation factor as well. So I had a couple of options. No Problem, Chance the Rapper. Second shout out to him. Father Figure, Toby Wigway. Have you heard that song?
No, but I love the concept. Yeah. I don't even have to hear it.
It's just saying in the rap game, I'm your father figure. So yeah, those would be good ones. Oh, and Travis Scott featuring Landon's favorite rapper, Sicko Mode, would be a good one too.
That went hard. That was
a good one.
2000, what was that, 3-4 years ago? I played that a lot.
Yeah,
for basketball season. I say my all-time favorite walkout song that, like, I played that hit all the categories that you mentioned, Mason, where it's like it needs to be kind of intimidating, but also like not so out there that it's like, why is this playing within a baseball field, is Next Episode by Dr. Dre.
What do you think about Thunderstruck?
That's more of like a in between innings, like, get the crowd excited.
Yeah, I'm kidding. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
Crazy Train like, too.
Something that's so cliche, like you're like,
I will say there is a place for that in like if you have a pitching change and you got somebody coming from the bullpen. It's pretty good song to play.
That was actually Landry's follow-up question. 9th inning, you're coming in to close the game out. What's your song?
Easy. Public Enemy, Shut 'Em Down. That's it. It's a layup.
I was thinking in high school they played this before basketball games, but It's My Time, Jeremiah Fabulous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, I like that song.
Welcome Back, Mace.
It's a good one. Good answers.
That's a throwback as well. I'd like to know Landry's answers. Hit us on the gram, Landry.
Landon, can you put this up as a question on the Instagram?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, you're gonna get video this weekend of him purchasing, right?
Yeah.
All right. Do it.
Sweet.
No crap. Tell him about $20.
Oh, I'll play his walkout song as he's walking into the store.
Whoa. Speaking of video, we are now on YouTube, our podcast. It doesn't include our video, but it does include just the audio. So
what does that matter then?
It's just another place they can listen.
So why can't you put the video? That's pointless.
It takes way too long to edit.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry to disappoint you.
If you take a week off from going to Florida, maybe you could figure out how to do it, Hayes.
You do not want me to be involved with our technical capabilities. It's been all I could do to run the Instagram the last 3 years since you beep weren't involved. Can't even say anything. I roasted. Boom.
I'm done. Everybody's taking a week off. You took a week off last week. Dan took a week off this week. After this episode, I think I'm gonna take a couple weeks off.
How many episodes do you miss before you're? I have a term that you guys aren't going to understand. That someday I'll define it for you. But where you're out, meaning you can't listen. You can't be involved anymore.
What? No, you can't just. What does that mean? Tell us the story.
Okay, so this one time, I was involved with a fantasy football league. Man, if you're listening to this podcast and you're laughing right now and you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly. It's a verb. It's now a verb. So one time, you remember Sean Taylor, the cornerback for the Redskins who passed away? He was murdered, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, so I was in a fantasy football league. We picked individual defense. So it wasn't team defense. And I had Sean Taylor, and he gets killed. And I make it to the Super Bowl. And we were at this point, I mean, this was so long ago. I don't even know if we had a text group. It was email. And in the email group, I said, hey, I'm going to get some karma points here, and I'm going to start Sean Taylor in the Super Bowl. And this guy, what do you think his name is, took that and wrote a scalding email about how I was probably going to hell and I probably shouldn't be able to making fun of people that have just passed. And I totally agree. But from that point on, we've had hardly any communication. And so we kind of came up with this phrase that when something like that of that nature happens, you get out. So
I think we need to invite onto the podcast and have her and reunite you both. Air out your grievances.
It's not. I don't have a grievance anymore. That's really. It's probably more to that than that. But I'm just saying that's kind of the catalyst.
I got a message for. Just chill out, bro. Seriously, save that heat for something.
It's not that serious. It's fantasy football.
Vent to your wife. Vent to your 3-year-old daughter that probably cares more than anybody else. So
here's how we'll wrap up. Here's the bow to all this. True story. That's where that phrase came out. It didn't even compute. It's so in my DNA that by just saying, oh, when is he going to get out, that I thought you guys would know what I meant, because I just thought that was just common vernacular. Oh man, that's so funny and stupid. Oh my goodness. But it came from fantasy football because of Sean Taylor. Rest in peace.
I bet he wears on clouds.
He might wear
update on the on clouds. We do have a fan of the pod, someone we all know and love. Dean Huffman told him to go listen. He was rocking the on clouds the other day.
Oh no.
Oh, why?
Landon just crapped on him.
Oh no! Has he listened to that episode?
I don't think he has yet. But
and you listen to this, everybody, you just pooped right on his lawn. I mean, there is feces on his lawn. Your feces. That's just hype, right? Like it's just
he did say he wanted to ask you if you had ever tried him on, because he said you would think differently.
Me
from a
anybody
perspective. Landon's the one who crapped on him. So
if I'd crap on him. That's comfortable, I'll wear a house shoe in the house. I don't wear my house shoes out of the house.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say what you really want to say, because I didn't listen to that part of the podcast. In my opinion, On Cloud is white upper middle class hype shoe. It is that. It's the same as this phenomenon with Reebok and the classic Reebok that all the celebrities are wearing. That's $70 and now all your homies have it on. It's the same phenomenon. White people just ruin everything. God.
Amen.
Yes.
You walk into a Chick-fil-A, you can't see the floor for all the on clouds. Say I'm wrong.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But I'm right. It's just hype. It's the other end of the spectrum. Wow.
I'm just stalling to try to pull up a message I got from one of the most loyal droplets, Seth Rolling. He was texting me because he was dying about Landon's on cloud rant.
Let's go. I love Seth. We gotta have. I want to talk to Seth at some point.
Is he afraid? He's probably scared.
He's a man.
He's scared to get on here.
He's the man.
I don't think so.
Is he afraid he's gonna get chewed up like a meat grinder?
He said, love the rip session on OnClouds. You won't catch me in a pair of those or Brooks until I'm at least 60.
That's the thing. OnCloud is a socially acceptable sketcher. Seth, shout out, man. Your wisdom is beyond your age. That's exactly what it is.
I don't think so. I think it's different than that. I think it's for people that are posing as liking to run, because that's also a culture of upper middle class white people. And I am one. So no, Brooks is legit. Like, if you're a for real runner, Brooks is like the Nike of that world. So I can't hate on Brooks. Like, I know enough about that. My wife's a big runner. I'm not hating on running. I'm hating on the fake culture.
Brooks are garbage.
Do you feel like Lululemon is in there somewhere too?
Yes. Oh
man, I'm so good at this.
We can have a whole episode.
I think it's just a different market.
Oh, right? No, it's on Cloud.
No.
I bet the percentage
it's on Cloud, right?
I bet the percentage of people that have on Lululemon pants or whatever the crap they make, I don't even know what it is. And then on Cloud shoes is like 90% of people have the item in their closet. If you own On Cloud, you have Lululemon, and vice versa.
And those people are not listening to us.
Probably not.
Hey, here's another one for you. Allbirds shoes.
Hold on, let me finish Seth's message.
Oh my god! I'm about to have a conniption.
Right after he said that, he said, "I can't say anything because you guys could say the same thing about my Allbirds."
No, Seth, no. Oh, you had just like
you had so much credibility. You were a droplet king. Oh,
you were on the ivory tower, and now that tower is
toilet.
He could have been in the running for droplet of the year. So we'll have to keep up with him about those Allbirds. See if we can get him out of his closet.
We need a trade-in program. Trade those Allbirds in for some Jordans.
How much do Allbirds cost?
Who cares? Too much.
Well, what I was saying, let's have a program. Let's make it up on the spot. I just offered your buddy $20 to put towards his shoes. How much are Allbirds?
They're priced strategically just under $100. They're $95. So it's for that guy that drives like a Volkswagen Passat, and he's got a life insurance policy that covers his whole family, and he makes all the most calculated, safe decisions in his life. And he's like, these are great. They're not going to be a conversation starter, but they're not going to offend anybody. They're just going to look like garbage on my feet.
Hey Seth, I'll put $20 towards your next purchase that's not Allbirds or On Cloud. So now I'm out $40 for this episode, but I'm a man of my word. Like, it'll happen. You heard it here.
Fun fact: did you know that Allbirds was started by Larry Bird?
That was.
I don't know if I believe that. That's a
lie. I just made that up.
Oh man. Oh man.
All right, now I just had a few remarks from our previous episodes. One, I've seen a few more signature sneakers popping up. Did you guys know that Aaron Gordon has a signature sneaker now of the Denver Nuggets? The brand is 361 degrees. That's a mouthful to say. So he's got the AG1. I think there was one more. I'll have to bring it up in the next episode.
Trae Young had a signature sneaker this week too. Is that what the one you saw that too?
Yes, that was it.
They're not bad. I mean, I like the color. It's like a peachish.
I think
they're different.
One that was purple-ish. It kind of looked like
the ones he wore in the playoffs the other night. It looks like this makes sense. He's played for the Hawks. It looks like a Georgia peach. It's got green accents as like the top of a peach. Man, they're dope. Actually, they're not bad. I won't buy them.
They look a lot like the Donovan Mitchell signature, right?
Kind of. Hey, I'll say this too. Mike T, he changed his name. It's called Drippin' Bourbon. Oh, shout out. Jordan 4 colorways coming out in golf shoes, and they are pretty dope. The ones that, what's his face? Bubba Watson wore it at the... Yes. Okay, but then the one I posted on our Instagram of Bubba and the seersucker, the pink ones. Oh, and I play golf, but I don't know if I'd wear them. Maybe I would. I think I will say I'm going to wear those if I buy them. but they are
that whole
fire.
seersucker pack, the four different shoes for those were all really good. That also goes back to another previous episode where Mike had asked about golf shoes, and we kind of crapped on them, for lack of a better term.
Did.
But we're eating our words. Jordan must have heard us. MJ heard us, and he was like, all right, let's step the golf game up.
I'll say the last thing. Did you see there was a Instagram post? I can't remember who it was today, of a sneak peek possibly of the Jordan 36. Did you see any of that, you guys?
No.
It looks like exactly like what you'd expect. You think, man, can the 36 save the day? Big fat
what
no.
Is this picture? Who is Satu Sababi?
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
All right, now we're going to jump into our picks of the week. Hayes, what you got this week?
I don't have anything earth-shattering this week, honestly. I know Landon's got a Jones for the Supreme North Face, but I'm not a fan. If you're gonna buy something, you'll be able to resell it. So that would be the only reason I would go after anything like that. We talked a little bit about the Jordan golf shoes. That's a couple weeks out. I like those.
The metallic green ones are dropping on the 2nd, June 2nd.
Yep. Okay. No, I think if I go for any of it's going to be the seersucker ones. So I'm going to pass on those. Honestly, okay, I'm going to do something a little bit different for my pick of the week. I'm looking for the Newcastle Dunk, Nike Dunk in a 12. So if you listen to this podcast and you got a plug or you got somebody that's got the ability to get me some Newcastle Nike Dunks low, I mean, I'll pay decent money. So I mean, somebody hook me up. That's what I'm hunting for. That's my pick of the week, and go check them out. It's based on the Newcastle beer. It kind of has that vibe, little blue, yellowish. It's colored like a beer, and I love brown sneakers, and so that's why I like those. But they're older.
Yeah, for my pick, nothing I'm going after this week. Nothing really catching my eye, but I would just call out those Air Jordan 4, the golf shoes. They're the Masters version that Bubba wore during the Masters. So those are cool. Go check those out. If you like golfing, you want to stunt on the golf course. Those are pretty dope. And then Landon's favorite shoe, the Air Force One, the Postal Service. Those are coming out on the 28th. So
full circle, man.
Once again, I will not go for those, but
I will not give USPS a cent of my money. The fact that if I purchase those shoes, even though they're dope shoes because Nike designed them, USPS did not design them. The fact that if I buy those, I would not sleep well at night knowing that USPS got a fraction of my money. Like the fact that they're getting royalties off of that shoe is just the most all-bird garbage I've ever seen in my life.
The only thing we can hope for at the end of this podcast is that Drake shows up at your concert and he's wearing those shoes and a Nocta hoodie and maybe an on cloud pant with a Lululemon hat on. That's the only hope.
I'm getting triggered right now.
I really think if we do this podcast for another year, that we're going to isolate every single one of our listeners by then.
I hope so.
Who cares? It's kind of like sports cards. You do it for the love. Like I don't do it. Yeah. We're not doing it for the money.
Exactly.
It's kind of like marriage, right?
No, that's not even remotely valid. Landon is. God, Landon.
That's fine. All episode long.
Landon, you got any picks of the week?
I got nothing. You can move on.
Give us a lesson.
Wait, hold on.
It's funny.
All right, fam. Thanks for joining us on the happy hour tonight.
Yes.
Remember,
thank you for listening.
And rate
you don't
5
have
stars.
To listen. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Hey, why don't you talk over Mason one more time?
You could listen to 1,000 other things that are better than this, and you chose to listen to this, and we're grateful.
Yeah, if you made it this far, we probably owe you money at this point.
$40.
That's how I feel every time I listen to a Drake album. I'm like, he owes me money for listening to this garbage.
We'll get to the bottom of that.
So remember to subscribe, rate 5 stars, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Help the algorithm. Follow the algorithm. We're working on acquiring that. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at StillDrippingTN.
Landon, and the card one. Follow the card one too, because now we're going to start posting about cards.
What's the handle?
Still Dripping Cards, right? Cookies on the bottom shelf. Landon's asleep. Oh, yes, it's Still Dripping Cards. God, Landon.
Hey, I just started that up for you because you don't know how to start an Instagram account and you haven't managed it. So I don't know what you're doing, man.
I deserve that. I'm not going to push back.
All right. Landon Hayes, close us out with a little lesson.
On cloud, on God.
Every year about this time, I get restless and my soul calls for the ocean, and I'm longing for the ocean and the sand in the crevices of all my soul. And I love you, Still Dripping Army. Blap bloody goo bap ching kong ping bloody ben chong baga bang dong nigga bang the ting kong ching ka tong tong tong. I kick it and I rip it and I flex it and I flex it and I watch it where I go. I'm taking the next exit. Your red face.
I don't know what just happened to me.
I just thought of the Still Tripping Loser of the Week. We went to Staples to find some new office chairs, and our salesman guy had some 5-finger shoes on.
Oh, first mistake was going to Staples. What?